Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something pretty fascinating happening down in Jacksonville. It's all about the Jaguars and what looks like a really smart plan for their huge rookie pickup, Travis Hunter. We're not just talking draft strategy here. It's more about, how a team handles a truly one-of-a-kind talent.
Yeah, it really is a unique situation. I mean, Travis Hunter, second overall pick, that alone tells you something. But he's this genuine dual threat guy, offense, defense, at a level we just haven't seen come out of college like this in ages, if ever, with this kind of draft pedigree. So the big question we're digging into is, how do you actually maximize that kind of rare asset? And maybe more importantly, how do you protect that massive investment? It's a tricky balance.
You hit on rare there, and that feels central. What makes Hunter so different that the Jags went all in at number 2? Our source really hammers this home, calls him a player that you do not see come out of college each year. That's quite a statement. What's the core difference?
Well, it's more than just being athletic and playing, a couple of spots in college. Lots of guys do that. Hunter's projection is genuinely being an impact player, like a real impact player on both sides of the ball. In the NFL, think about it. A receiver with great hands, runs crisp routes, explosive after the catch. And then flip side, he can be a top corner. Coverage skills, ball skills, tackling. We see versatile athletes, sure, but very, very few who look like they could potentially be like elite at both wide receiver and cornerback against pro competition. His athleticism is, off the charts. But it's paired with this really high football IQ, this feel for the game on both offense and defense. So the Jags taking him second. That wasn't just, let's fill a need. It was a statement, a huge belief in this almost unprecedented talent. They're banking on him being a cornerstone, someone who changes what they can do fundamentally. It's a franchise-altering kind of pick, potentially.
Okay, so this incredible dual threat ability, it sounds amazing, but it immediately brings up a pretty big hurdle, doesn't it? Playing both ways in the NFL, that's just brutally demanding physically. Double the snaps maybe, double the hits, different stresses, different playbooks. The risk of injury or even just burnout seems incredibly high. I mean, think about the recovery needed for just one position. So knowing all that, what's the initial game plan from the Jaguars? How are they starting this off?
And this, I think, is where you see the smart plan starting to take shape. It'd be easy to get excited and just, throw him out there everywhere, but long-term health, a sustainable career for a guy like Hunter, that's got to be priority number one, especially with that draft pick value. What's really interesting here, according to our source, is that the Jags are absolutely clear. Yes, he is going to play both ways. They're embracing the unique skill set. But, and this is key, their main concern right now isn't just instant impact. It's looking out for his best interest, making sure they do not put him in a position where he could get injured. That tells you a lot. It signals a really careful, protective, patient strategy. They're thinking long-term asset here. It's not just about week one. It's about the next 10 years, maybe more. It's like handling, a very valuable, very specialized piece of equipment carefully.
That makes sense. Not just maximizing talent, but preserving it. So that leads us to what we've actually seen recently, right? Minicamp observations. Our source says Hunter was seen taking reps both on offense and defense last week. Checks out. But then there's this detail. He's also taken more reps on the offense side of the ball. Okay, so what does that tell us? What's the thinking there? Especially if he's supposedly comfortable at corner.
Yeah, see, this is where it gets really interesting. And maybe not what you'd first assume. You might think, okay, more reps on offense means he's maybe struggling on defense or they're hiding something. But according to the source, that's not it at all. They actually say he's more comfortable at the cornerback position. So the extra offensive reps, it's not because he's bad at defense. It's the opposite almost. The strategy seems to be that the Jags believe that Hunter could benefit from taking more reps at wide receiver. It's like, okay, you've got someone who's already a great swimmer, but you also want them to be a top-tier cyclist for a triathlon. You focus the training time on the cycling, right? Because that's where the improvement is needed for the combined goal.
Okay. Developing the less developed skill for the dual threat package.
Exactly. The goal seems pretty clear. If he's really going to be this two-way weapon, this mismatch nightmare, he has to be able to do some damage against the best starting next season on offense, too. So this looks like a very deliberate developmental strategy. Focus on the side where he has less pro-level seasoning. The aim is to make him just as dangerous, just as effective on both sides. It's about building the complete player, not picking a side.
Right, getting him up to speed on the offensive nuances at the NFL level. But importantly, the source also makes it really clear. This isn't like, okay, he's an offensive player now. The plan sounds incredibly flexible, adaptable, which seems smart for this kind of player. How dynamic are we talking?
And that flexibility, I think, connects to the bigger picture, the long game. The source is explicit. Even though he's getting more offensive reps now, it does not mean he will stay there most of the season.
Okay.
They're committed to this ongoing evaluation. They're going to keep going through the process of figuring out what he does well on both ends. This isn't some fixed plan they drew up in April and won't change. No, his role could change from each day or week to week, which, as the source says, makes his usage something that is going to be fun to watch next season.
Definitely sounds like it.
And what this adaptability really signals is confidence. Huge confidence. The source repeats, Hunter is going to be good at whatever side he's playing on. Defense, offense, doesn't matter. So this dynamic approach lets them react. React to game plans, to injuries elsewhere on the roster, even just to how Hunter himself is developing or feeling week to week. It lets them maximize his impact without locking him into one box. It's an evolving strategy for a truly unique, evolving talent.
So if we try to sort of boil down this smart plan the Jaguars seem to have for Travis Hunter, what are the key pieces? First, it's recognizing just how rare and special this talent is, really seeing that. Second, a really strong commitment to his well-being, protecting that big investment for the long term. Sustainability seems key. Third, that strategic focus on developing the less familiar side, the offense in this case, to build that true two-way threat. And finally, maintaining that flexibility, being ready to adapt his role day by day, week by week. It feels like more than just coaching. It's like strategic asset management.
Absolutely. And, thinking about this whole approach, how careful they're being, how player-focused, how adaptive, it does make you wonder, right? What does this mean for the future? How might other teams look at scouting, drafting, and especially developing these multi-position guys down the road? Is this Jaguars model something others will try to copy, or is Hunter such an outlier that this is a one-off situation? It's definitely something to keep an eye on, not just for Hunter's career, but for how the league itself might adapt to players like him. It's going to be fascinating.